Welcome to Cody Yellowstone Uncovered, a podcast dedicated to exploring the best of Wyoming's Yellowstone country. Ready? Let's go.
Welcome back to Cody Yellowstone Uncovered. We've got a great episode for you today. You know, we spend so much time talking about those legendary summer adventures, the rodeos, all the hiking, being the gateway to Yellowstone. But I think for anyone who assumes that the Wild West just, hits the brakes when the snow flies, they are missing the most dramatic transformation of the year.
Oh, it's a huge shift. Truly.
Yeah.
That landscape, which is already so rugged and vast, it becomes almost impossibly beautiful, covered in this brilliant layer of snow under that enormous western sky. And what's really critical here is that the winter doesn't just offer activities, it completely changes the nature of the experience.
Absolutely. We're talking about a season that blends high-level outdoor athleticism with this really deep historical tradition. It's a specialized kind of adventure.
Right.
So today we've distilled 5 unforgettable experiences that truly define a Cody Yellowstone winter. Whether you're seeking pure speed, complete solitude, or, a fascinating cultural dive.
And our goal today is to really be your expert guides, to walk you through the opportunities that genuinely belong on a bucket list. We want you to understand not just what these activities are,
The why.
but
The why.
the why. Why the geography of Cody Yellowstone makes them so unique, blending that frontier ruggedness with truly world-class modern outdoor sports.
Okay, let's jump right into the deep end then, because the first thing on our list defines high-altitude adrenaline, and it might be the most surprising fact about this region. We're talking about ice climbing.
And we're not talking about small-time local routes.
Yeah.
The ice climbing around Cody Yellowstone is, it's internationally renowned. It's right there, tucked away in the Bighorn Basin.
That's what gets me. Most people hear climbing Mecca and they think of, Chamonix or maybe some Canadian ranges?
Sure.
So why Cody? What makes this specific geography so powerful that it actually rivals those global hotspots?
It all comes down to a perfect trifecta of geology, elevation, and just really consistent cold temperatures. So we're sitting at a high elevation, and the way the Shoshone River cuts through the valley, particularly the South Fork, creates these consistent critical melt-freeze cycles.
Okay, the melt freeze, that's the key.
That's the key. You need that daily temperature fluctuation to build massive, stable ice formations, but then you need the overall cold to keep them solid for months on end.
So it's like the climate is creating the art.
Exactly. The South Fork Valley it's geographically set up for this. It is known in the technical community as the U.S. Mecca of ice climbing.
Wow.
And that's based on a hard metric. It boasts one of the highest concentrations of frozen, accessible waterfalls in all of North America.
So it's not just one big waterfall, it's the density.
It's the density. When you look at the sheer number of pitches, from easy beginner climbs to serious multi-pitch vertical challenges, it's just unparalleled. You're climbing on these massive columns, curtains, and chandeliers of pure ice.
That is genuinely fascinating. So for the listener who is maybe intrigued but has never worn crampons in their life, what's the entry point? How do you even start?
Well, you don't just walk up and start swinging ice tools.
Right.
This requires expertise, which is why working with local professionals is it's non-negotiable. Wyoming mountain guides, for instance, they're deeply familiar with the region's unique ice conditions.
Okay.
They can take an enthusiast, fit them with the right gear, the technical boots, the sharp crampons, the specialized axes, and guide them through a safe, controlled ascent. It turns that curiosity into an unforgettable personal achievement.
That's a fantastic way to experience that kind of intensity. But if scaling a frozen vertical wall is not the type of intensity you're looking for.
Maybe something a little more horizontal.
Exactly. Perhaps you prefer raw, high-speed horizontal movement. We need to talk about snowmobiling.
Snowmobiling is the pure, high-octane contrast to the quiet focus of climbing. It's that thrill of acceleration across open ground.
And what defines the experience here is just the sheer scale. You're not restricted to a few small loops. There are literally hundreds of miles of groomed trails carving their way through the massive Shoshone National Forest and the areas around it.
And the contrast is everything. One moment, you're flying through these densely packed stands of towering pines, where the light is muted and the snow is deep. And the next moment, you just burst out onto a wide open meadow. These meadows are often frozen alpine lakes or high clearings, and that's where you truly feel the rush, uninterrupted speed against a backdrop of towering snow-covered mountains.
That feeling of space, of true wilderness, That's what sets this area apart from busier destinations. You are really tearing through untouched powder.
Absolutely.
And for safety and, maximizing the fun, I'm guessing guided tours are key here too.
Oh, absolutely. The beauty of booking with an operation like Gary Fales Outfitting is that they know the terrain intimately. They understand where the best powder stashes are, how to navigate the wilderness safely, and they provide top-tier equipment.
So it's the difference between just riding and actually exploring.
Exactly. It's the difference between merely riding and truly exploring the winter landscape.
It sounds like the perfect way to get that blood pumping and shake off the winter chill with just pure, sustained speed.
So we've covered the adrenaline junkie. Now, we shift gears dramatically. Winter in Cody Yellowstone is also an invitation into deep solitude, and for that we have to turn to tranquility and some more traditional trails.
I love this contrast.
Let's start with cross-country skiing.
Yeah, if you prefer the physical rhythm of your own movement and the sound of your skis gliding over snow rather than, say, the roar of an engine, Nordic skiing is the way to glide silently into those pristine corners of the wilderness.
It is sport of grace and endurance. And what's important for our listener to know is the range of opportunities available. The trails here cater to both the seasoned Nordic enthusiast and the complete beginner. It offers a perfect balance of challenge and peacefulness.
And there's a specific location that really stands out. Pahaska Teepee, what's the specific draw there for skiers?
Well, Pahaska Teepee sits at this historically significant, stunning altitude. It's known for its rugged, almost European mountain landscape.
Oh.
And the specific detail here is that the terrain is actively maintained. It's regularly groomed into distinct tracks. For the novice, you have the stability of the classic tracks, which are these parallel grooves in the snow designed to hold your skis and really maximize your forward movement.
And for the more experienced, the type who wants to glide a bit faster.
That's where the skate skiing lanes come in. These are wide, smooth lanes that require a higher degree of skill and athleticism. You're basically mimicking the motion of ice skating to get higher speeds.
I see.
And while the main Pahaska Teepee facility itself closes for the season, the trails are open and ready, which makes it an ideal destination for a full day of silent, self-powered exploration.
Imagine gliding through that scenery, just you in the snow, punctuated only by the crisp silence of the high mountains. That sounds like a true mental reset.
It really is.
Okay, now let's move from gliding across the snow to sitting quietly on the ice.
Yeah.
Ice fishing.
Ice fishing is one of the most immediate ways to connect with the frontier history of this region. It's a quiet, intensely rugged tradition that demands patience and a real knowledge of the land.
It is the ultimate test of patience, isn't it? You are embracing a very close to the land experience. We're talking about setting up a warming hut, maybe even a small temporary shanty rate on the frozen expanse of the Buffalo Bill Reservoir.
Right out there on the ice.
You're there, auger in hand, waiting for those schools of trout to swim by beneath this massive thickness of ice.
And the fishing here isn't just generic freshwater fishing. You're targeting serious cold water species. The reservoirs are often stocked with Yellowstone cutthroat trout, which are native and highly prized and sometimes even aggressive lake trout, depending on where you are.
So there's a skill to it.
Oh, absolutely. Understanding where they school, how deep they are, selecting the right tackle, usually small jigs or specialized ice fishing lures, that's all part of the skill set.
The setting alone seems like it would be reward enough. The massive frozen water body surrounded by those stark, snow-dusted peaks, maybe a little condensation rising from your thermos. It just sounds meditative.
That's the attraction for many, the solitude. But for those with that competitive streak, the quiet tradition can turn into an intense competition.
Right.
Cody Yellowstone hosts a major annual event.
Yes, the 19th annual Matitsi Ice Fishing Derby. This is serious business.
It is. It's scheduled this coming year from January 30th to February 1st, 2026. And this event draws serious fishing enthusiasts from all across the region to the Sunshine Reservoirs.
So it's a chance to measure your skill against others.
Exactly. Turn that quiet personal patience into a true high-stakes competition for the biggest catch.
It just beautifully captures the dual nature of winter here. Total solitude one moment and then intense competition the next.
Okay, so we've discussed scaling ice, roaring across snow, and sitting still on a frozen reservoir. All of this demands energy, focus, and inevitably exposure to some deep cold.
Exactly. When you're spending hours drilling through ice or facing whiteouts, those temperatures demand an indoor cultural counterbalance. You need a place to thaw out, refuel, and soak up the history that really grounds this entire region.
And there is no better place for that than the Buffalo Bill Center of the West.
Yeah.
This isn't just a local museum. It is a true cultural anchor point for the entire Mountain West.
What's so unique about this center is its scope. It's a real Cody gem because it's 5 distinct, family-friendly museums all under one roof.
5 museums.
When you think about a single admission granting you access to 5 world-class experiences, that just speaks to the scale of the facility.
The sheer diversity is what makes it so important. You are literally taking a journey through time and culture. You can spend time in the Buffalo Bill Museum itself, learning about the ultimate showman, the legends of the sharpshooters, and, how the Wild West became mythologized.
But it doesn't just stop with the performance, which is what I love. I think the 2 museums that really surprise people are the historical and technical collections.
Absolutely. The Plains Indian Museum is a critical stop. It houses sacred artifacts and deep historical context regarding the various Native American nations of the region.
Right.
You're moving past simple exhibits and seeing things like significant regalia, historical treaties, and sweeping displays that give true context to the land you were just snowmobiling on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the Cody Firearms Museum, which is the world's most comprehensive collection of firearms. It's a technical and historical deep dive into the weapons that really define the frontier.
And that connection, the connection between the history of the tools, the rifles, the trappings of the showmen, the artifacts of the indigenous people, and the physical landscape you just traversed, that's what makes the whole experience so cohesive.
And they know you can't rush this. This is a small point that speaks directly to the experience they offer. The admission ticket is valid for 2 full days.
2 days, that's great.
They acknowledge that to thoroughly explore all 5 museums, which also include the Draper Natural History Museum and the Whitney Western Art Museum, you actually need the time to absorb it all.
So it means you can hit the ice climbing on day 1, warm up with 2 museums in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and then dedicate the entirety of day 2 to the remaining collections. It perfectly rounds out a high-energy trip.
Absolutely.
So let's bring this full circle for you. We've covered such a diverse, robust range of winter experiences. We've talked about the high-altitude technical challenges of scaling massive frozen waterfalls in the U.S. mecca of ice climbing.
Yep.
We've discussed the pure exhilaration of sustained speed while snowmobiling through the Shoshone National Forest.
And we contrasted that speed with the necessary stillness, the silence and grace required for cross-country skiing, the groomed trails of Pahaska Teepee, and the quiet patience demanded by the rugged, age-old tradition of ice fishing the Buffalo Bill Reservoir.
And, of course, we found that Essential Warm Retreat, the cultural hub where history and the modern day intersect at the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, a true complex of 5 different museums offering 2 full days of exploration.
Winter in Cody Yellowstone is clearly not a season of rest. It's an invitation to engage with the land on a fundamentally different and often more intense level.
That's a perfect way to put it.
It requires preparation, a respect for the elements, and offers truly unparalleled rewards. We really encourage you to start synthesizing this information and planning your journey today.
And here is a final, provocative thought for you to mull over as you begin planning your trip and requesting your travel guide. We saw how this region maintains its historical identity through the deep preservation of artifacts at the center, while simultaneously being the setting for intense, modern, often cutting-edge sports like technical ice climbing.
Right, that contrast.
How does that deliberate, continuous blending of preserved history and high-risk, high-reward modern adventure ensure that Cody Yellowstone doesn't just survive, but remains genuinely, fundamentally wild forever? Think about that tension between the past and the present as you lace up your boots.
Until next time, we look forward to uncovering more with you.
Catch you later, wild ones.